Hope everyone had a good Christmas and New Year and ready for the start of conference season. Our guys are anxious to get started. We came back from the break and played a southeastern Louisiana team that had won their league last year at 15-3 and lost in the championship game in the Southland Conference tournament at the Merrill Center in Katy, and went to the NIT, played on the road at St. Mary's on a Monday, had a quick turnaround and got beat. But have a fine team. They're well coached by Coach Ladner. And last year in the game here, I believe we won by 8 points, and we were down by 10 or 12 in the first half. They're an explosive team with good players. And the game in Hammond, we got off to a quick start. We're up 13-6, had a couple opportunities to get a lead, and then we had a dry spell on offense. They got hot and scored, and the game went back and forth. Malik Marquetti led us with 15 points at the half, was our best player in the first half. And then the second half, Jakeenan Gant came to life, saddled by foul trouble in the first half, and he hadn't played in a couple of games, basically a game and a half. He had 6 block shots and 11 rebounds and 9 points all in the second half. So I thought he really made a difference. Justin Miller came up with 13 rebounds for us and did a good job there on the glass. And P.J. Hardy hit 3 big three-point shots. We were 0 for 11 from 3 the second half, and P.J. hit one with 20 seconds to go to give us the lead. And then, of course, we let Julian score, and we had to get the lead back on the last play of the game on a dunk by Jakeenan Gant. So good win for us, good road win. It's good to have a winning road record in non-conference. We've done that for a couple years in a row, and our goal is to continue that as we get into conference play. Unfortunately, in the game against Southeastern, Malik slipped in the second half and had a knee injury. We thought it wasn't as severe at the time. We got back home, and I was up here with B.J. Duplantis, our trainer, and Dr. Drew came in and saw him Sunday around noon and did an evaluation on him and told me that it was probably worse than we had anticipated. We had an MRI done at 2 o'clock that day, and it was read on Monday morning about 10 o'clock, and we learned that Malik had torn his ACL and was going to require surgery and would have to miss the remainder of the season. Malik certainly handled it like a champ, like the leader that he is. And we have a survey that we do among our players and beginning of the season, and we ask our players to rate their teammates in 12 different areas, and 4 of the areas that were rated, Malik was first. The first one was unify the team. The second was mentally tough. The third was the most confident. And the fourth was who do you respect the most? So Malik is well thought of by his teammates. He's a mentally tough young man. As we know, he doesn't show a lot of emotion. He just plays the game. And it's very unfortunate for our basketball team and for Malik because if you remember in the fall, you guys asked me who was a player that was going to step up, and I believe Malik. I said Malik had a great fall practice, and he's very important to us because of his versatility. In the last 3 games, he's led us in scoring. The last 5 of 7, he's led us in scoring. The last 3 games, he was still our leading scorer the other day, basically playing a half with 19 points. But the last 3 games, he's averaged 22 points per game. Last 6, 16 and a half, and I believe 15.1 overall. So second in the league in free throw percentage. For 2 years, he's been a career 85% free throw shooter. He was 3rd in the league in three-point percentage. And last year at 45, last year was 41, so 2-year 43% free throw or three-point shooter. And most importantly, he had really come on defensively and accepted the role that we'd given him starting down in Florida right after the Kansas game to be our best perimeter defender. And he was basically our most consistent player on offense and defense, and his leadership, that he was displaying as a team captain had him set to be an all-conference player and to lead us the way Frank Bartley led us last season. So very disappointing that we lost Malik, but now we know that he's not going to be with us, and we've had to regroup and practice the last 2 days and make sure that next man up will be the answer. We've got some depth. We know how injuries and illness can affect the team. We learned that last year at the end of the season. So it's always a concern, but I feel that our guys will rally and step up and play well as we get into conference play. Arkansas State is a different problem for us. They've got a really good backcourt in Ty Cockfield, who is the second leading scorer in the conference. He's been Player of the Week, senior guard out of Georgia, junior college player that played well for him last year. And he's a handful. He can score the ball, and he's going to try to score it every time he has it. Eaton is another player in the backcourt that's a sophomore that is shooting the ball better for them. He's more efficient. He's at 40% from three. I think last year he was maybe in the 20s. He's doing a nice job, and then they've got some other guys as well, a couple of seniors in Wally and Gillard that can both shoot the three-point shot, and they've got a couple of inside guys that are new that are helping their team. So they're coming in with a win over Harding at home. They'd lost their last road game at Syracuse. I think Dave Schultz has a scout on that. He'll be glad to talk to you after this press conference. But that's where we are moving forward into conference play, and then we'll play Little Rock on Saturday.
Coach, obviously it's a team thing when you lose a great player, but in terms of a guy who can do some of the things that Malik brought to you, is Jarikus the guy because of his size and his ability to shoot from the perimeter, and can he do more things as one guy kind of filling in that Malik does than anyone, or how do you?
Jarikus certainly has that capability, Kevin, as far as size, strength, can play inside, outside. You know, the versatility was huge with Malik. He was kind of like a Swiss Army knife. You know, as a coach, he was excellent to coach because you could throw him in any of the different positions and he could execute the play. He always knew what everybody's role was. Jarikus gives us some of the size, scoring, inside play, perimeter shooting. You know, Jeremy Hayes is another guy that started against Southeastern and played well. He's been really good in practice. The last week has been Jarikus. So they'll have to step up. P.J. Hardy, 3 for 3 the other day from three, his best game. He's going to have to step up, and then some of the other guys too. But we'll have to do it by committee. There won't be one person that replaces him.
Is it going to be more difficult, from what I'm hearing, really to replace what he's doing defensively than replace his scoring? I mean, I know it's everything, but what about the defensive side?
Both ways, but defense certainly is something that gets overlooked, and he's been so consistent for us defensively. He's drawn the other team's best perimeter player, whether it's a smaller guy or a bigger guy, and much like Frank did for us last year, and that certainly helped us. But defensively is an area that we have to improve in, and now losing him makes it extremely difficult.
Is there any opportunity for him to get a medical hardship with this? What's that process look like?
It's too early to say. Certainly played. Depends on how many games we play this year, for one. But usually the cutoff is right around 30 or games, and we'll have to get with our compliance people. Tom Burke does a great job of that, and we'll certainly look forward to putting that request in for a waiver and see if we can get him a year or even a conference season back next season.
What about as far, you still have a lot of other leaders on your team, as far as the team moving forward confidence-wise and not letting this be too much of an obstacle for you?
Well, we've got two other captains that have played well all year, Marcus Strom and Jakeenan Gant. Jakeenan was lights out the second half. He played outstanding. He and Marcus have both done a great job at practice. We've had two tremendous practices. We brought in the new year yesterday afternoon with one of our best practices of the year. So the leadership is coming from everyone. It's starting at the top with me and going through the coaches and certainly the players and our staff.
It's always important to get off to a good start, especially now that you're going to be at home instead of in Arkansas like it seems like you've been. But is confidence-wise, is it even more important now, or is
Well, you want to get off in a good start, and it'll be a little bit of a feeling out process, Kevin, in the game because we haven't played in the game. We finished the game, but we haven't started a game without Malik being in the rotation. So how that develops, we'll just have to wait and see. But it's important that we play with confidence and get off to a good start at home.
What about PJ? You mentioned he hit, I think, 3 threes in the game in Hammond, and he's one of the guys that he has the ability to do that, and he's shown that at times, so he could seem like could fill in some of the offensive things potentially from here on out.
I certainly hope that he can continue to shoot the ball. He was really good in practice yesterday, too. I think he made 6 in a row in a live period for us. But he started the game at McNeese in his hometown of Lake Charles, and the game at Hammond, Jeremy Hayes started. So both those guys got a start on their belt. Jeremy was 1 for 1 from 3. So we need those guys to make three-point shots as we get into conference play.
Do you try anything new? Do you try anything different, or you just try to fill the roles that had previously been determined?
We're, as far as substitutions or
Just to start the style or anything, or
yeah, we're going to try to play the same way, but certainly cuts in our rotation a little bit, and we'll probably do some things differently. You know, there were plays the other day in the second half. First half and second half, we caught Marlin 5, 7, or 8 guarding Malik. Well, we immediately got him to the post and got him the ball inside, and he scored. So we'll have to make some adjustments. You know, not having that ability to do, but just within the game. And certainly after the game, and after this weekend, we'll get a better feel for what we'll need to change moving forward.
What's your analysis of the Sun Belt so far?
It's been a good non-conference season from what I can tell. Some teams have struggled on the road, which happens. That's why I mentioned earlier we're fortunate to have a winning road record in some hard-fought games in state. But the teams, there's some really good wins in our league as well. You know, the same day that we beat Tulane in the Gulf Coast Showcase for 3rd place, Georgia State beat Georgia for 3rd place in the Cayman Classic. It was a good win. Georgia State rallied from 20 down in the second half to beat Alabama. It was a good win for our conference. Troy State, the last couple of games, won at UAB and at Western Kentucky. So those are good wins. I mean, Troy's got a good team. Monroe's played well. A lot of teams are playing well. Georgia Southern got off to a good start. Texas State's off to a good start. You know, they've had a favorable schedule, but they've won their games. So the conference race is going to be interesting. I think it'll be more balanced than it's been in quite a while.
With Malik unavailable, is there going to be any consideration of playing Kobe Julian if he's ready to go?
No, that's not an option. So, not at this stage. You know, we're still going to wait. You know, Kobe is practicing. He worked yesterday after practice and got extra working with a heavy ball. So, but he hasn't been officially released yet for game activity. So, do not plan on playing him, at least not now.
What makes Cockfield such a good scorer?
Aggressive. You know, he's got that mentality. You've seen us play this year a couple of times, Scott, and we've had some guys that weren't shot ready or passed on a shot. You know, and sometimes we overpass, and you've seen that as well. But Frank didn't turn down shots. You guys know how Frank was aggressive. Cockfield's the same way, but he handles the ball better than Frank, and he's going to have it in transition quite a bit. So he's going to go until he gets stopped. And then in a half court, he's aggressive and wants to pull the three-pointer or drive it to the basket. And he's fearless. He'll go in there and score against bigger people. But a good guard.
Interesting stat about Arkansas State in the last 5 games. They've shot a better percentage from three-point range than they have from two-point range. What are you seeing when you look at them on video?
They've got guys who can shoot, Jay. You got to run them off the line for sure. And they have several guys, multiple weapons behind the three-point line, and with Wally and Gillard and Eaton, and they've got a couple of young players, new players, guards that can make threes as well. So it's not just one person you have to take out. You have to take out a lot of guys.
Are there inside guys just poor shooters? Because
Well,
they only shoot about 32%.
Yeah, I think they don't go to them either, Jay. The best way that they score is to get offensive rebounds. And we try to post our guys up occasionally, and they will too some, but they get away from it. We were trying to get the ball inside at Ham in the second half and got it to the block at will, and Justin just couldn't finish. He couldn't make one the other day. He was 2 for 11, and that doesn't happen very often. But they're a team that plays, utilizes three-point shot. You got to remember Coach Bellato worked at Louisville for Pitino, so he's going to do a lot of the same things. That's what he knows. He also worked for his son at Florida International.
National media's reporting that you had a contract extension that would take you past 10 years here with the Cajuns. What's it mean to be here for so long?
Well, it's impressive that our leadership and administration, Dr. Magger, Dr. Savoy, have confidence in me to lead the program, and it's something that was actually done back in the spring. It's been a long time ago that it was agreed upon, and excited about this team and the future of our program and the direction we're headed. We were talking about the Sun Belt a little bit earlier. We're going to have to fill ourselves out with this team and see where we are without Malik and how we can string some wins together. And if you look at the last 4 years, we've won 7 conference games in a row over the last 4 years, and with 7, 9, 8. Last year we won 10. So we've won a minimum of 7, and certainly need to get a string going like that, get some confidence, and which will help get us up in the standings and have a chance to win the league again and certainly play for the conference tournament.
Is Gant okay? Did you talk about that? I know he played well, but is he still sore?
He looked okay to me.
Okay.
He came back from Christmas and had a good practice on Wednesday. On Thursday, he was a little bit better. Friday, a little bit better. And then Saturday morning, we went to shoot at Hammond at the University Center. He was his old self. And he got frustrated. He got in foul trouble early, but the second half, he put on a show. He dunked several balls and got called for an offensive goaltending, or he'd had another rebound and 2 more points. He'd had a double-double. Blocked those 6 shots. I think he blocked 3 on one possession, and then got the dunk to win the game. Our guys executed the last couple of plays. We had to have them, and PJ gets a 3, and then Marcus drops it off. He's going to get a layup, and he drops it off Jacquinnon for an easy dunk. So Jacquinnon's healthy, and he was a second-team preseason all-conference, yet he's one of the 5 guys that was up for conference preseason player of the year. And Marcus was 3rd-team all-conference. And those guys need to step up and play, and they'll have a little bit more on their shoulders now. So we just have to stay healthy, keep getting a little bit better on both sides of the ball.